What's going on, guys? Welcome to Everything Always. My name's Michael Roman. Today we're going to cover the plot details leak for the Eternals that made its way across the internet yesterday. Now, while I would initially say this does a much better job of sketching out the characters and then illuminating the relationships between the two of them, there are definitely some very main plot points included with this, one of which being Kit Harrington's character, Dane Whitman, aka the Black Knight, may not just be an ancillary character or in one or two scenes as we thought, setting him up for a future Avengers film, but rather on the scene the whole time and a major player at that. We're going to break the whole thing down, where it came from, issue the normal spoiler warning, but first, if you could, grab the subscribe button. We're giving away 2 PlayStation 4 Pros, as well as a whole slew of other Marvel related stuff, including copies of Avengers Endgame and Blu-ray and DVD. All you have to do, hit the subscribe button, then hit the notification bell, leave a like and a comment on this video, and if you want, stick around to the end of the video. We'll get into all the giveaway stuff again there. So first things first, of course, by the time I'm posting this video, you can source this plot leak from Reddit. It's become pretty ubiquitous in the last 24 hours, but the original posting, unfortunately, is over on 4chan, the most anonymous source of them all, so take it with a grain of salt. But by that same token, some of these have ended up becoming right in some part in the past. So if you want to go in fresh to the ideas that the directors have for you, if you're easily susceptible, if you don't want the movie ruined or think this will ruin it for you, you might want to back out now. It does beg the question as to why you clicked on a plot leak video in the first place, but hey, I've done my part. So let's just dive right in. It starts by saying the Eternals are a group of superpowered, immortal alien warriors created by the cosmic engineers known as the Celestials and sent to Earth to protect mankind from the deviants, monstrous creatures also created by the Celestials that have gone rogue. This is information we already know about the film, no plot leak there. It continues by saying the Eternals arrived on Earth in ancient times and lived among humans throughout the centuries, always keeping their true nature a secret. Cersei, Gemma Chan's character, is the Eternals' spy and has psychic powers. Her mission is to protect their secret, but she enjoys living among the humans and wishes her family could reveal their existence to the world. Dane Whitman, Kit Harrington's character, is an archaeologist who learns about the Eternals. Cersei is sent to erase his memories, but instead, they fall in love, leaving Cersei divided between Whitman and her family. And this is where I would like to add interjectionally that if Kit Harrington's character was only to play an ancillary role, 1 or 2 scenes or post-credit scenes setting him up for the future, then that means it would be really hard for them to build out this love story. Granted, they could do it in one scene, but what it sounds more likely is, if there's any validity to this plot leak at all, that Cersei and Dane Whitman will have a ton of interaction during this age set in the past. I will also mention now, this is a good time to bring up, that some of the more recent leaked set photos seem to coincide with some of the points that come up in this plot leak a little bit further on, and we'll point those out when we get to them. Moving on, Ajax's character, played by Salma Hayek, is the leader of the Eternals and has healing powers. She regards the Eternals as her family, particularly because they are not allowed to have children of their own. Icarus, played by Richard Madden, is the mightiest of the Eternals and can manipulate cosmic energy. He is loyal and protective of his family and fiercely devoted to the mission. And this is the part that I said works more as a character sketch than it does with plot points. Thena, played by Angelina Jolie, is the deadliest of the Eternals and has superhuman reflexes. She is brash, rebellious, and prone to breaking the rules and carries a great secret. It'll be interesting to find out what that great secret is. Gilgamesh, Don Lee, is the strongest of the Eternals, has superhuman strength and endurance. He is sensitive and humorous despite his massive size and cares deeply about others. Makari, played by Lauren Ridloff, is the Eternal Scout and has superhuman speed. Her function is to travel the world storing knowledge about the humans and the planet. She is a deaf mute and communicates only through sign language. And for me, this is a huge plot point. Interjectionally, I'll just add here, if they have someone, a flashlight character who can do reconnaissance at a moment's notice and has been for some time, this is how you can explain how they know what's going on with the humans without ever having interacted with them in the past. It's a great false action and makes up for why they would know so much about what's going on in the past and what's going on right now. Moving forward in this quote-unquote plot leak that again is acting more like a character sketch, Kingo is the Eternals' wisecracking, fun-loving fighter. While the others have chosen to lead an unassuming life on Earth, Kingo has used his abilities to become a world-famous Bollywood movie star, and this is where I want to bring up that at least some of these set photos seem to show the Eternals interacting with humans, but quietly in modern-day life. So while a lot of this movie may be set in the past, in ancient times, tens of thousands of years, as Kevin Feige has put it, maybe 8.5 thousand years before the current MCU, it may catch them up in some part of the movie and show what they're doing right now and what they have been doing somewhat throughout the current timeline. Of course, we know that we may find out why they didn't interact during Avengers Endgame and Infinity War, and we may actually get to see scenes amongst them at least while all of that's going on. Phastos, played by Brian Tyree Henry, is the Eternals' inventor. He's the most rational of the group and once was very optimistic, but since has lost faith in humanity. Sprite, played by Liam McHugh, is the Eternals' storyteller and can create illusions. Despite being permanently trapped in the body of a child, she maintains an upbeat demeanor. Druig, who we can assume safely will be one of the film's villains, is the most dangerous of the Eternals and can control people's minds, particularly their fears. Unlike the others, he despises humans and has plans of his own. And this is where we really get into the meat of the plot leak. Listen closely, the movie will span thousands of years and explore how the Eternals influenced the history of the MCU before arriving in modern times, when Dane Whitman, aka Black Knight, discovers the Tomb of the Space Gods, which is capable of summoning the Celestials to Earth to pass judgment on humankind. The Eternals and the Deviants battle for control of the Tomb of the Space Gods, with Whitman caught in the crossfire. Unbeknownst to the Eternals, Druig is manipulating both sides to advance his own agenda. And there's a couple of things I want to break down here. Number one, it definitely sounds like Druig is the main antagonist of this first film and almost plays a Thanos-like role. Number two, speaking of which, Thanos is a deviant, and we may get to see some of his role and what he thought about Earth, the control of the Tomb of the Space Gods, and maybe what he already knew and felt about humankind revolving around the conflict for the Space Gods. Either way, what's most interesting about this is we're going to get a huge span in this movie. It's not going to be set in one specific time in the MCU, but we're going to see a ton of time in the MCU. A lot of people have guessed that we're going to see the earliest parts with the Celestials and that we might even get the introduction of Galactus if they go that far enough back in the galaxy, but I don't think they need to do all that to create a huge plot point for the entirety of the MCU just by introducing the Celestials. And let me explain what they've been doing most recently in the comics is absolutely nuts. They went a long way in explaining a huge retcon for why there's so many superheroes on Earth. Let me explain a little bit further. Now, there are superpowered beings across the Marvel universe, but somehow, some way, there are more per capita on Earth than everywhere else. Now, we know back when they were writing comics, it was just the egocentric, hey, this is our planet, this is where stories take place, and that's fine. But later on, they needed a realistic quote-unquote explainer as to why there's all these superheroes and mutants with the X gene on Earth, but per capita throughout the rest of the universe, there's maybe only one or two per planet or galaxy. And we actually heard a little bit about this when Captain Marvel tells the rest of the team during Avengers Endgame, hey, there are a lot of planets out there who didn't have you guys. This explainer comes through the Celestials. Rather, an old Celestial who perished on Earth, his blood seeped into the soil and over time gave humankind their X gene. It just needed to be unlocked. There was also that retcon with Scarlet Witch's power that said she may have had it latent inside of her the whole time, and it was merely the Infinity Stone that unlocked it, something similar to the Tesseract and what happened with Captain Marvel. So it may be they're using the Eternals as the very first launching off point to explain this modern times explainer, how the Celestials came to Earth, one perished here, and then created the X gene and or this superpower that seems to pervade throughout humankind even more so than throughout the rest of the galaxy. Look, I don't think they need to do all this. I don't think we're asking those type of meta questions just yet. I also think if you take a look at what they've done more recently in the comics, even what they're doing right now with the X-Men, I feel like they're trying to change some things and go into new territory where all us classic heads are just waiting to see on the big screen what we know and love from the old comics, which means meta stuff like this isn't absolutely necessary for the story right now that we're looking to be told in phases 4, 5, and 6. But there are some of you who have agreed with me in that you definitely need an explainer for the mutants, and this might be the best way of doing it, taking it all the way back and seeding a deep-seated reason instead of just, hey, there was a snap, there was a bunch of gamma radiation, everyone's a mutant now. Guys, let me know what you think in the comments, A, specifically about this plot leak, the few plot points that were in there, or the quick quip explainer at the end, B, if they got anything wrong wrong about any of the characters and their powers, if you think it's going to be a little bit different and they're going to do a little different take on some of these characters like they have done in the past for other characters when it makes sense for narrative reasons, I'm all ears. Let me know what you think in the comments, and quickly let's get into the giveaway stuff before I let you go. We're still giving away 2 PlayStation 4 Pros, the next of which is at the 500,000 subscriber mark. We're headlong into that and should hit it by month's end. All you have to do, hit the subscribe button, then hit the notification bell, leave a like and a comment on this video. That'll automatically enter you to win the PlayStations plus the copies of Avengers Endgame and Blu-ray and DVD and all the rest of the prizes we give away here at the channel. All the same rules apply and you'll be entered to win them all. Again, all you have to do, hit the subscribe button, then hit the notification bell, leave a like and a comment on this video, and because it's random, the more videos you like and comment on, the better chance you have of winning. My name's Michael Roman. This is Everything Always. Guys, thanks so much for checking out the channel, and stick around. We'll be posting again real soon.